Oh, j'ai la flemme.
La what?
Toujours à la rentrée.
À la what?
Bonjour tout le monde, I'm Cassie, your French teacher, so you can discover France the French way. And now is the perfect time to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you want to really feel confident when you speak with French natives. Today, I want to talk about these untranslatable words in the French language. Like really, you understand them or maybe not, but you have to give explanations of one or two sentences to be able to actually say what they mean. So I prepared a quiz of 10 questions and you will tell me if you understand what they mean, what's the closest translation. Of course, I put everything in the free PDF that you will find in the descriptions, and actually I added a few bonuses for you, like a few extra words. Alors t'es prêt? On y va.
Aujourd'hui, j'ai la flemme de sortir. Does it mean that I'm tired because I went out? Does it mean that I just cannot bother to go out? Or does it mean that I'm scared to go out?
La flemme is a bit like I can't be bothered. It's not exactly that. Again, that translation is the closest, but la flemme, I use it so often. It is that feeling that is in between laziness and being tired. Tiredness, that would have rhymed. So it is really in between. You're tired, so you're lazy. You're lazy, it makes you tired. It's that kind of feeling in between, like, oh no, I don't want to do that. No, la flemme. And somebody who's lazy can be called un flemmard ou une flemmarde. If you want to conjugate it, it is always with avoir. J'ai la flemme. J'avais la flemme. J'ai eu la flemme, etc. Donc aujourd'hui, j'ai la flemme de sortir. Aujourd'hui, today, no, I'm too tired, too lazy, no, can't be bothered to go out.
C'est la rentrée. Tout le monde retourne à l'école ou au travail. C'est la rentrée. Does it mean that it is back to school time? Does it mean that it's autumn? Or does it mean that it is payday?
La rentrée. I actually struggled so much to translate this one. It is the back to school moment of the year, but it's not only with school. You can also talk about la rentrée with work. It comes from school vocabulary, but you know, we've all been there, so we kind of adapted that word. La rentrée after the holidays. Oh, la rentrée difficile. You know, after you spent Christmas, New Year's Eve, I don't know, with your friends, with your family, you go back to work, you're like, oh, la rentrée dure. Yeah, because you don't really want to go back. But you have to, I feel you. Donc c'est la rentrée, tout le monde retourne au travail et à l'école. It means the holidays are over. It is that time when students go back to school, people go back to work.
En arrivant au Japon, je me suis sentie dépaysée. Does it mean that I felt homesick? That I felt out of place? Or does it mean that I felt so free?
Dépaysé it's not exactly out of place. Again, we are looking for the closest translation, but it's not exactly that. Dépaysé technically means out of your country. Pays, country. Donc dépaysé, out of your country. It's not really negative. It just means that you have a bit of a shock, or maybe not that strong, a surprise when you go somewhere else. And it can also be dépaysé in another city of your own country. For example, you come from the countryside and you go to the big city. Or you come from a small city and you go to the capital city. You can be dépaysé because you're out of your natural environment. You're out of your comfort zone and what you know. Donc, en arrivant au Japon, je me suis sentie dépaysée doesn't mean I felt bad. It means that was surprising. I was a bit lost.
La Seine est un fleuve. La Seine est un fleuve. What is la Seine? Is it a river? Is it a lake? Or is it a big river that flows into the sea?
fleuve. Le fleuve, it is these big rivers that actually end into the sea. So I've looked it up and apparently there is a word for that, but that first I wasn't able to pronounce and then that nobody uses ever. That's why I put it in the list of untranslatable words. Donc le fleuve, it is really that the big rivers. First, there is a difference between la rivière et le fleuve. La rivière, small rivers, okay, you know it. Fleuve, big ones, and they end into the sea. For example, in Paris, la Seine, c'est un fleuve. That was the question. Where I live, la Loire, it is actually the longest fleuve in France. So, technically, rivers, they end up in fleuve. The fleuve end up in the sea or the ocean.
Mon pote vient dîner ce soir. Mon pote vient dîner ce soir. Who's coming for dinner? Is it my best friend? Is it my buddy? Or is it my boyfriend?
Un pote, éventuellement un copain, you could also say, is like a buddy or somebody you like. In English, you would actually say a friend, but you're not that close. In French, there is that clear distinction between ami et pote, copain, and then even connaissance. Connaissance is really someone you know, like you've never really talked to them or just a couple of times. Copain, pote being slang for copain, but we use it more actually. So pote, poto, is the buddy, is the kind of friend that you like to hang out with, but you won't tell them your deepest secrets. You won't call them for, moving out, or you will call them and they won't show up. Things like that. It's not really with them that you will share like important and intimate moments of life. Amis, these are the close friends. So the one you trust, the one you can count on. And most of the time we say that we only have like a handful of amis. Quelques amis, 5 ou 6 max. Donc, mon pote vient dîner ce soir, that would be my friend but not so close friends. Or my buddy is coming for dinner tonight.
Ce vin est un pur produit du terroir. Does it mean that it tastes local? That it reflects the region? Or that this wine is very expensive?
Le terroir. So you will hear that word a lot in France. It is really the idea that it shows the character of the region you're in. The country, but it's more local than that. So if you say that, I don't know, the wine, for example, in our question, ça sent bon le terroir, it really feels like the character of where you are, where it was created, or of the people. It's really a whole feeling. So it's not tangible. It is a concept that is hard to explain, but it is really that feeling of authenticity that you will find locally in French regions.
Les retrouvailles avec mes amis étaient très émouvantes. What was so emotional? Was it the reunion with my friends? Was it the trip with my friend? Or saying goodbye to them?
Les retrouvailles, so it's not just meeting your friends. It's really that feeling of joy to meet again with someone you haven't seen for some time. So it can be a very long period of time, then the retrouvailles are even more emotional. It can be a short period of time, but still you're so happy because you haven't seen that person in, a few days, few weeks, I don't know. But it's really that feeling of joy of seeing them again. And that enthusiasm and that mix of emotions, like really positive emotions when you see each other. Most of the time that moment is of course reciprocal, like both parts or even more are happy to see each other, otherwise that would be awkward. But yeah, that's what retrouvailles are. Retrouver, is not enough. Retrouver is just like, yeah, I see them again, I meet them again. Non, les retrouvailles, you have that subjective part, that happiness, emotional part. So the answer was the reunion, but it's more than that.
Tu voulais en parler? Justement, j'allais le faire. Was it that actually I wanted to talk to you about it? That obviously I wanted to tell you? Or unfortunately, I wanted to talk to you?
Justement, so technically that would be justly, but it's not that I don't know how to speak English. I know it doesn't mean anything. But it's something that would be equivalent to, oh, actually, or precisely. More like precisely, that would be the best, I guess. So it depends on the context, but it's when you're in a conversation and you want to hop on a topic, you're like, justement. Like, you had that in mind and you connect what was said before to what you want to say. Justement. Very handy, very common. So here I translated it with actually, but as every word, every question in that quiz, it's not exactly that, it is a bit more.
Mon oncle est un peu beauf. Beauf. What is it? Is it that he's funny? That he's quite basic and tacky? Or that he has money?
Un beauf. Ooh, that one is so common and so typical French. Un beauf. It used to be the shortened version of beau-frère, which is the brother-in-law. Mais un beauf, quelqu'un de beauf, mostly men, can also be women, but mostly men. So it is that very stereotypical man who's like not very classy, not very intelligent, who likes, pretty tacky things. So it's really negative to say that they're beauf, but they're not mean people. It's not that they're bad people. We're just being judgmental here. It's really what it is. Let's say tacky and not very interesting. But I'm so sorry for all the Kevins that will watch this video. Most of the time, we tend to associate that name with that concept of beauf ou la beaufitude. Sorry, guys.
J'adore me promener le dimanche matin. What do I like to do? Do I like to go for a walk? Do I like to walk to go to work? Or do I like to go for a run on Sunday morning?
Se promener, which was very common during COVID, right? I was in the Netherlands during COVID, so we were allowed to go out. Anyway, se promener, I really struggle to actually translate it because it is to walk or go for a walk, but it's more than that. It is really that idea that you walk around a city, a place, whatever, with that pure intention of just enjoying the walk and just enjoying what you see around you, and you take your time. Se promener is that idea of taking your time, enjoying your time, being like really present in the moment, and that's it. So you have no other purpose than enjoying the present and what's around you. And I find it quite hard to translate because just go for a walk is not enough, because you also have that feeling that goes with it. I'm pretty sure you've noticed, but these untranslatable words, most of the time it is because they are subjective and they actually translate also emotions. They're not just pure facts. So tell me how many you found. Tell me in the comments, right? And don't forget that I added a few bonuses in the free PDF that you will find in the description. If you like this kind of quiz, I recommend you watch this video next. Donc à la semaine prochaine. Salut!